Hello, 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 hello. I was on the wrong screen there. I thought it was going to start seamlessly, but no, messed it up. Was on the wrong screen. But sure, here we are now. I am very happy to say that I have Level Up Leroy here today, and we're just going to chat about all the stuff that is going on between us because there's a lot. There's an awful lot. Say hello to the world.
Hello, world. Hello, Rin. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all being good and staying indoors.
Indoors, indoors. Mark Phillips has joined us. Hi, Mark. How are you doing? So this is going out across YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, and all that is because of you telling me about Mob Crush. And now I've seen you've done some videos about Mob Crush as well, haven't you?
Yeah, trying to share the love and let everyone wants to stream now, don't they? So we're all stuck at home. We're all artists. We all want to produce. We all want to make music or get our sounds out there. And everyone was sort of like messaging me, going, "Hey, how'd you do this? How'd you do that?" You know what? We'll just stick some videos up, help people out. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's really revolutionized my streaming. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I guess we should probably start off by you telling folks who you are and what it is you do exactly, because they won't know you from Adam, I'm imagining.
No, so I am the self-proclaimed Comic Con DJ. So I came up with this concept a few years ago of basically what would I want to hear if I went to a Comic Con nightclub sound and sort of put all this geeky music together, and I make videos, and yeah, I've just gone out there with that and hit some of the Comic Cons up, and thankfully it's allowed me to have some international travel as well, which has been phenomenal, really.
Amazing. So list. I know where you've been, obviously, but tell the folks where you've been.
New York twice, Chicago for Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration t-shirt on. Cyprus and South Africa.
Yeah. So you're basically like everybody at the moment is coming online, and you have made the biggest splash out of everyone I know. I think because you just gone completely for it on all levels.
Oh, thank you.
You've got the YouTube stuff, the YouTube videos. You're killing it on Twitch. Like how long? Right, start with Twitch. When did you join Twitch, and And then when did you become the affiliate?
So I joined Twitch, I guess, around 6 months ago. Didn't do anything with it, just had a Twitch account because I needed to get the Level Up Leroy for all my socials. But then, yeah, well, how long we've been locked down? 2, 3 weeks. I started streaming, and I've now become an affiliate in 2 weeks. So thank you to anyone that's been coming back for the streams. I appreciate it. Go check out Death and Gloria. We need to keep that going. So yeah, I think it's about the community helping everyone out. Um, yeah.
Yeah, so you did one of those join trains. What do you call follow trains for YouTube? Where you were
Yeah.
asking folks to follow you, and you were following. Were you following folks back, or were you only asking them to follow you?
Yeah, I followed everyone back, and if
Okay.
I missed them, I got a couple of messages going, "Hey, dude, I followed you," and I'm like, "Sorry." There you go, done, followed back. So yeah, I think it's important to make sure you share the love if you're putting those messages out there. And I know sometimes it kind of goes against you um, when you get these kind of follow-ins where you do this sort of big massive hit and you get a load of people. But I think on the level where I'm at, where it's not in the thousands,
Mm.
I think I'm all right. I think I fly under the YouTube radar.
Did you manage to get that 1,000 follower monetary thing? I guess
No,
YouTube.
no, not yet. Not on YouTube. I don't know where I'm at with YouTube. I think it's about 300 and something now, which is it's a shame because I'd really like to grow my YouTube channel. Follow me on YouTube, people.
I think that'll come. I think it'll come. I think the YouTube is just something you can't fake, and you have to have that. It's like 10,000, like 1,000 followers and like 50,000 watch hours or something before
Yeah,
they'll
it's
get you
crazy.
anyway. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I must admit the help video that I put up just a couple of days ago is up to like a few hundred views already, which is great. So I think it's with with YouTube, it's kind of engaging with people and sort of trying to have this weird, like a lot of people have this sort of how to do this in X amount of ways, and trying to catch people's engagement straight away and answer their question within the video. For artists like ourselves, when we're well, I'm forever getting pulled down when I'm DJing, but I put some of my remixes up. But for artists, I think it's quite hard actually on YouTube, because how do you sort of go, hey, have you seen this artist? And they put, oh, click on that, you know. So it's always that, or 10 ways to improve your life.
Mm. Yeah, the whole thing's quite mind blowing. I mean, I often think get up in the morning and I'm like, oh my god, I could do things today, and then I'll spend 2 minutes on Facebook or YouTube, and then I'm like, nobody's watching me. Nobody watches this. This is crazy.
No
Like,
one's here.
there's
Yeah.
no one ever around. Yeah.
My my biggest engagement seems to be with Facebook, for sure. I get the likes in on Instagram and stuff like that, but Facebook seems to be where my biggest engagement is. Um, I think in the years to come we could grow it out and Twitch could become that, but yeah, at the moment Facebook seems to be where it's at for me.
Yeah, it's where my audience sits as well. I think it's somebody posted up like it's 80% of Twitch is between it's 16 and 24 or something. It's a
Yeah.
young audience, so younger facing things work better on there. Like I've seen this young fella who is up in High Wycombe, and is he in Wycombe? No, he's Crystal Palace, and he has been on there for like 2 weeks, and he's got loads of followers, and he's just a wee fella with a acoustic guitar, but he sings very pop esque, modern pop esque songs. I guess I
Right.
haven't really found what works on Twitch for me at all. And I think it's mostly because maybe this mob crush thing is not. It's. I mean, do you find that you were getting people on Twitch when you were using mob crush? I mean, that seems to be a problem for me.
Yeah, Mob Crush really, really worked for me. And the thing I really liked about it was free. Well, it's free.
Yeah,
So that's like a plus plus, especially at the moment. I don't really want to be subscribing to too many things like Restream.io. They wanted a subscription for you to get on Facebook Mob and various Twitch streams. So it seems to have worked really well for me. Another friend of mine I put onto it, and he said that his Facebook feed just got filled up with Mob Crush rubbish, but I don't know. It seems to be working for me at the moment. Touch words, he says. Last night I did do a stream direct to Twitch, and that was the first time I had done that. And doing it direct to Twitch, it was night straight after that I got the email about being an affiliate. But all of the stuff that I had done prior to that had been via Mob Crush streams,
mm.
multi-streaming.
Mm.
Um, I think it's important to engage with the audience, isn't it? And type and talk and get people. You need people commenting, don't you, as well on Twitch? But it's interesting because again with the audience, um, as to where I think that's my daughter. You can hear in the background there. That's the joys of isolation. Um, yeah, the audience being a younger audience, I kind of hope that we can pull some of the younger audience through to my stuff and your stuff as well. But I did a thing very recently for Brooklyn Brewery. Carlsberg distribute Brooklyn Brewery in the UK. And they were very like, so Brooklyn have this beer, it's Defender. It's been the official beer of New York Comic Con for however many years. And Brooklyn Brewery wanted to bring me in to help launch UK, and we did some events. But Carlsberg were very like, oh, comic books and Comic Con. Oh, isn't that for kids? And so where my logo has like this flying rocket man, they were like, oh, we don't want any cartoons, and so they were quite strict with my set that I played, and they wanted to see it all first. And they were like, we want to see your social media followers. What's your average age range? Are they, is this all like 9-year-olds, kids that are watching because you're a Comic Con DJ? And unfortunately for well, I say unfortunately, but it turned out that most of my audience is kind of like mid 20s to mid 40s males. So that was kind of exactly their demographic. Um, so yeah, and that was taking the figures off of YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So it'd be interesting to see what my demographic is on Twitch and whether it is younger, like we were saying.
Yeah, I think this whole episode we're going through now is going to really change up Twitch because
Oh yeah,
like loads of people just hadn't heard of it before, and
no,
it wasn't the go-to place. But I think a lot of people, like loads of DJs, have had to go onto Twitch. If you want, like, you just have to because nowhere else is going to play. You're going to get away with a full set, basically.
Periscope, but who's on Periscope these days?
I didn't
Um,
even know Periscope's still going. I had a little jaunt with them about 5 years ago, and then gave up as it was just annoying to use, so I didn't use it anymore.
yeah, I don't think anyone really uses it that much, but uh, yeah, it's going to be this is going to change the game completely. And of course, once we're all allowed back outside in the sunshine and stuff, the gigs are going to come. But I think if we're not supporting the online community that has been there through this time, I think people are going to be quite fickle with that. So I think it's going to be double the work for us. We need to be streaming and playing live and really engaging more than we ever have done.
That's the thing. We've opened up another element of market. Really, it's because there's always been people who couldn't go to shows, and
Yeah,
we just kind of ignored them somewhat. But I guess they were probably living on Twitch in the first place, as the folks who didn't go out to live shows anyway. And
yeah,
I'm actually shocked how many UK people there are on Twitch. I thought it was mostly Americans until I got on there, and actually, with it being time zone specific, and then there's an awful lot of like really good British folk on there playing guitar
yeah.
or whatever it is they're doing, piano.
Yeah, it's crazy how this gaming channel has now become a kind of anything goes. It's like it's not far off of becoming like just the streaming YouTube for a bit of everything.
Yeah. Mm. There's some
Um,
like there's two really great ones that stand out to me, and I think you might have shared one of them. Maybe it wasn't you. There's a girl who plays piano, and her name has just gone right over my head. But there's a fella called I Has Beard, and he says that he is the best lights on YouTube, and I tend to agree, not on YouTube, on Twitch, and I tend to agree with him because he's got them all set up so the
is
chat
he?
commands run his is quite intricate stage lighting, which
Oh
he
wow,
changes. Like, so he has like pixel tape, which is the next generation to what I've got, and then he
right.
puts them in like big circles or big triangles or whatever, and then when people follow him they go off into different things, and he's got a different setting for each song and stuff like that. So
That's cool. Yeah, I know you can do all of that stuff. I really haven't delved into it as much as that. I'd love to, because I'd really love it my channel to be much more engaging. I think that's what it's going to be,
I
isn't it?
think your channel is engaging enough. Come on, you've got a little dancing Rick from Rick and Morty. Like, you've got your
Yeah.
right. Tell folks who have not seen you what it is that you've got in your setup.
So, I mean, yeah, it's all. This has always been on my mind about doing these online shows, and it's kind of now forced my hand. So when I go out and play the larger set, so I did two types of shows with the Comic Cons. One is kind of during the day, and it's music, and it's a bit of hosting and talking to people and keeping the proceedings of the day going. And then usually at night, if there's an after party, which is where we met, wasn't it, Rin, at the Warped Gun?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I do this kind of like it's a little bit like your show, except I'm not as artistic and creative as you. So, whereas you're playing your guitar and singing beautiful vocals, I'm that DJ. I'm stealing other people's music and remixing it, and I set it to various graphics. So, for instance, if it was Guardians of the Galaxy, it could be Hooked on a Feeling with a remix behind it, a bit ramped up, and then you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy all running around behind me, or I'll play Rick and Morty, um, yeah, and stuff like that. So it's really good fun. It's really engaging, especially when you drop things like the A Team or a Gremlins remix and stuff like that, and you take people back to their childhood, which is if you can gauge and sort of catch people on like their best memories, then you could sort of, you know, people fall in love with the set and they fall in love with the visuals as it's happening.
That's cool. But you
Yeah,
mastered the green screen for your
I did.
streams, right?
Yes, yes. A friend of mine who does a little bit of photography was like, "Oh man, I've got these bits of green screen. I don't need them." And they were like, they literally was like strips, this big long strip, and I was like, "I'll play with it at some point." And this was probably like last year he gave it to me, and then yeah, we were locked in this lockdown. I was like, I wonder if I got that green screen still. So went out, cut it up, hung it on a window, and yeah, managed to set the green screen up through the computer. Um, the one thing that I haven't got at the moment, and it's on its way from Amazon. God bless Amazon. Is some lighting. So where I was going to do my stream between 7 and 9 a couple of weeks ago, I had to move it an hour forward so I could keep the sunlight and the natural lighting. Because as it gets darker, the room that I'm DJing in isn't light enough. So I start doing a Marty McFly and just disappearing into the green screen. So you've got to have really good lighting. So that is winging its way to me now.
And what lighting did you go for?
I went like literally for like some just the cheapest thing I could find on Amazon. It's about 50. It's just two lights that are on stands that come out, and they've got the, you know, the big white thing that goes over them and stuff
Oh,
like
the
that. So
light boxes.
light boxes, yeah, like photography light boxes. So you need to have as a kind of as natural and a softer light as possible. So I did get some like industrial lights that my dad works in a sort of building um, game, and so he's got some like big lights that they can plug in outside, and they're like floodlights. I was like, oh, I'll get them, bring them in, but they were just too powerful, and they were sort of creating a lot of bleed.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's got to be soft, natural lighting, so to bring beautiful tones.
Did you get dimmable ones, or did you get dimmable ones?
It comes with a pack on it, so yeah, I mean, I'll probably do a full review on it once it arrives, but yeah, I think there is a handful of settings in there. I think it's quite basic, probably like a click button, isn't it, where I'll get hard light, soft light, and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
So
good though. That's all you need, really. I made the
yeah,
mistake of buying studio lights in light boxes when I was started doing streams, and they were so bright, you know, because
yeah.
after then, I just face them towards the walls and flipping all, and you just can't point them in the right direction for you, and it just got all really silly, really fast. So I've got them in the garage now, not being used because I just got too much, really.
That is the thing with this whole game, isn't it? Like for I mean, it was yourself that put me onto the ultra short throw projectors, and actually managing to yeah, and managing to see an ultra short throw projector up close, because when you don't really know what it is and you're looking at projector cheap on Amazon, you think, well, that'll probably do, and then you buy one, you go, well, actually, my picture's like that big, it's rubbish. But as artists, we don't make a lot of money. You know, people think we're rolling in money. We're not. So whenever we buy this equipment and whenever we invest our money that we get from gigs, it goes back into what we're doing. You know, we're very protective. We want to make sure what we're getting is kind of right.
Yeah. I actually, my one isn't ultra low. My one is a short throw, and the
Uh,
ultra short throw would have been better. But now that I've kind of worked out how my stage goes together a little bit better now, I don't really need anything more than a short throw because it's
I got the ultra short throws because there's a that's it here. There was a deal, a guy selling two of them on eBay, and I was like,
go for
Didn't know didn't know
it.
COVID-19 was around the corner. I felt flush that week. Whoa, lovely! I love that.
Yeah, that's good. My spare is not even a short throw, so if I had to go to a different projector for stage, I'd be pretty screwed actually, because
Right.
you know,
Well, I got the two because I'd managed to get, as I was saying to you, I can now through these boxes. Again, a friend of mine, his a friend of a friend, his friend pulls apart yachts and rich people's yachts and things. And there's these things that you can actually clip in the boxes. They're powered boxes, so you can send a HDMI signal, 20, 30
Oh yeah,
meters
yeah,
away
oh
from
yeah.
where you are by Ethernet. So I managed to get a couple of those boxes cheap, and I was like, well, we've got to get the if I can get the short throws and have my big my big images and my big cartoons behind me. Great.
I actually got the idea for having a screen on stage from a fella called Ricky Botel, Boatwell, perhaps. I'm not pronouncing that right. He's a DJ. He's a metal DJ in London, and
Okay.
he shows. He's not. He does similar to you actually. He shows this music videos while he's DJing. It's that
Cool.
simple, And he did a show at Antichrist, which is a club I work for, and he had actually hand built flat screen TV frames in black wood. I mean,
Wow.
they were a really good idea, but they were so heavy, and we had to load
Yeah, he
it in
must
and
have been
everything. Right?
ripped.
Yeah, and he puts them in a V in front of him so that the screens are facing out.
Yep,
Yeah, and then he can play and the same video across two screens.
that's
And
cool.
I really
Yeah, I
like
like
that
that.
idea, which is where I got the idea of having stuff on stage in the first place. So if you've got these two short throw projectors and screens, how do you think your live setup is going to look then?
So, um, again, just before COVID-19 landed on our laps, um, I've been thinking about that a lot actually, and there's quite a few of the shows that I've been to. You turn up and you're like, right, I've got my equipment, and they're like, oh, right, we didn't need that. Didn't know you need somewhere to put your stuff. Is this table
Yeah,
okay?
I didn't know you needed a table.
And so you're like, yeah, and you're DJing like that in the air. um, so I started thinking more about, okay, how am I going to present myself when you know, you always want to be presented as professional as possible. I mean, like your show is amazing with the lights and everything, the microphone behind you there. Uh, it's all about presentation, isn't it? So I managed to get myself. I didn't want to run of the mill DJ box because I thought that looks a bit disco. So I've got kind of this new. It looks more festively and sort of kind of scaffoldy framework. So I've got that. It's got my big logo plastered across the front of it. So now I'll have this nice kind of DJ platform, and then I'm going to have the screens behind me, or just coming in behind me like that. So because they're ultra short throw, I can have them both right near me, throwing up my big screens, and yes, that'll be me, two big screens, and then maybe if the money comes in one day, I can actually fit a TV to the front of my new DJ stand as well. So that'd be epic.
Surely with your short throw, you could just use that. You could just short throw back project onto that. Surely.
It's I did try the person is quite thick, so the image was coming through, but kind of milky looking. Is
Yeah,
that a
yeah,
thing?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So it wasn't coming through as crisp as I would have liked it to have been.
Okay, that's cool though. On what screen options did you go for? I'm just trying to steal all your ideas now. So
No,
yeah, what screen options
um,
have you gone?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
So we got those. I got with the DJ stand, and then Corona landed. So I kind of stopped spending money on that. So there's no point in me having screens at the moment. But I was kind of looking into the pull-up screen. So very much like what you've got behind you.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, the pull-up things that they were sort of around 130, £40 each.
How tall do they go though? Because that I mean they have a limit on how tall they can. Are they just the same height as roll banners?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just about the same. So I mean, they're sort of coming about that high above me. So yeah, I thought kind of that would be big enough. I think any venue that I'm playing that requires more than that,
They'll have
should
their own.
probably they'd have a screen,
Yeah,
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 or they'd have something for me to connect into. This is kind of more of a like like turned up to one gig and it was, I was like, hey, right, where are we setting up? And they were like, oh, it's in the hotel bar in the corner. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they sort of wheeled out a TV and went, oh, you do visuals, plug into this. And it was a TV on wheels. So it kind of, I was like, oh, okay, right. It was at that point, and that came after seeing your show as well. So what, I really need to have my own projectors, my own screens, my own stand to really like when I'm not at the bigger events, I can actually make them look great as well.
yeah. It's just it's a weird thing going in between the two different sizes of shows,
Yeah,
and then we're both solo performers, right? So in theory, we should be able to tour in like a mini, right? Just chuck your shit in the back of a car. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Chuck your stuff in the back of a car, and off you go. Keep the cost down, whatever. And now both of us have turned it into a 3 ring circus, just
yeah.
just for the
I
sake of
mean,
it.
yeah, it's a good job. Like, well, as you heard, I've got the family, so I've got a big dad estate car, so I put the seats down and I can get this stuff in there now. But yeah, it's becoming all the things I never wanted to be, a mobile disco.
Yeah, but you have to. I mean, you have to.
Yeah,
Yours.
yeah, I'll probably have a van one day with it all in.
Yeah, well, that's it. If you're gonna use visuals, then you gotta just make sure it's done right and not a bed sheet in the back of a pub.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's as artists, and I was saying, you always want to grow and you want to develop, and you want your show to look as great as possible. And I would never discourage anyone from starting off with that bed sheet, because if that's what you've got, that's the gear you've got, go for it. But then make sure you're reinvesting in yourself. Like, that's your biggest asset, is you and your talent, or whatever you're bringing to the party. If you've got some art to create and you can only do it with those minimal tools, take those tools, do what you can do, and then invest back in yourself and grow.
Yeah,
um yeah, for sure.
I mean the biggest. Did I ever tell you about how I got the round screen? Did I tell you where I got the round screen from?
No,
Uh,
but
so
do.
so let's talk about bed sheet. It's practically a bed sheet on a frame. I mean, it's a little bit more involved than that. I should say that most stages will not allow you to use a bed sheet because they're not fire retardant. So you're supposed to have flame resistant material on any stage, just in case people are out there thinking they'll just use a bed sheet. Um,
Safety note.
yeah, but most folks don't care. So I watched someone do puppet shadow puppets one day. I was doing like an art gallery. I was doing sound for an art gallery, and there was a guy doing shadow puppets while somebody read a poem.
Oh,
And
cool.
he had this round screen, but he had basically got this lycra, which you can get from a staging shop called McDowell's, like stage fabric, and they do it so it's good. It's all health and safety done, and he had made a ring of tent poles. The circle is made out of tent poles, and it was just like a drawstring bag that he had attached to these tent poles.
Right.
All right. And I was like, that is a really great screen because you can, it just travels very well. It doesn't wrinkle, and all the rest. And the screen itself is just really cool. But it didn't go that far for me because I wanted to back project. But on his one, he had, a drawstring bag. So you can imagine there was actually two levels to the screen. The
Yeah.
back bit and the front bit. And because he was using light on the front, it didn't matter that there was an extra back bit. So then I had to design the same thing, still his design, but then augmented it to have just a complete frame around it. So it's just one piece of material. So I have to tuck in the rest of the material into the frame.
I remember watching you set and painfully going around and getting that all in
Yeah.
there.
So the easiest way I to make basically a screen is as a circle because a circle will hold its own weight. So if you try and make a
Yeah.
rectangle, you'll need something to brace it with, and you'll need other bits and bobs or a square. But as a shape in it that holds its own weight, is a circle's the only way to go. So like it's a bit of geometry there for everybody.
There you go. And it also sets your show apart as well. That's what when I was watching your show, is what I loved about it. That projecting into that circle, projecting into that shape. I thought
Yeah.
that was really cool. Whereas me just being lazy, getting a projector screen square.
Yeah, but your videos are in square format. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, TV guy. TVs and movies, basically, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's fine. I mean, I had to learn how to mask a screen to make them round, but it's like you can't stop the projector pushing out light when you don't want it to. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, of
if
course.
if I front project and it goes and the lights go off on stage, you can see the square being projected on the back wall, which I haven't been able to get round. So I have to back project so that people don't see
Yes.
the masked section. And I don't know how to make it just project the circle in the first place because it doesn't do that. I don't know
Yeah, I
why.
guess you just can't.
It can't. There must be a projector out there that'll do it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, there's something for you to create.
I don't definitely don't have
time
the
to
money for that.
time to, time to get techie.
I'm actually not that technically minded. As it kind of, I think a lot of people think that you and I are like head of the tech pile, and it's just not true. Well, not for me anyway.
No, not for me either. So, like we were saying about the videos that I put up on YouTube, and like I say at the start of them as well, I'm like, full disclosure, I am not an expert in this. I'm literally trying to help people. But I think where we're kindred spirits really is that if I want something done or if I want to learn about it, I will unfortunately just dive into that world of YouTube, and I will just search and watch and search and research, and then I'll go online and until I get the answer that I want, or I can find out how to do something. So yeah, I kind of delve deep into all these things, and I mean to the point the other day where I was pulling apart some Switch controllers because I was like, I'm sure I can fix that, and I'm watching YouTube tutorials while I'm like, okay, which I would never have done before, but so, yeah, I think that's will suit me. So like with all this streaming and stuff, I was like, right, how can I stream? How can I get it across as many channels as possible without having to do 2 or 3 streams a day of the same thing individually? How can I do that? How can I get that green screen? How can I do everything I wanted to do? So yeah,
Oh yeah.
nerd.
Well, yeah, I did exactly the same thing. I have a box, like it's a trunk actually in the garage of cables. Of random cables that have just accumulated over the years, and I've been through that box like 4 or 5 times in the last month. Like, I need this connector to that connector. Can I just like gaffer tape something together and like put some cables together and that'll work? It's been odd. I do have a question actually. Now that you're are you going to go for the I'm assuming you are going to go for the Twitch affiliate program.
Yeah, I did it as soon as I got the email. I was like, oh, lovely. Okay, yeah,
Yeah. So does
yeah.
that mean you can't use Mob Crush now because you have to stream direct to Twitch? You can't multi-stream at the same time.
It's technically Twitch own your stream 24 hours before you can stream it. Is that right?
Oh, I just read that you can't. So you can't use Mob Crush and stream across 3 things at once. So you can
Okay.
still stream on Facebook, but not the same stream as you can on Twitch. I
Oh, I'll work a way around it. I'm so low down on the totem pole of the pecking order of people that they'll be watching. For now, hopefully it'll go up. If it explodes and goes really well, then fingers crossed I could just be like, hey, go to Twitch,
yeah.
and affiliate, and that's where I'm gonna hopefully get some cash monies because I need it right now.
Oh. Well, I
um,
think your audio. I mean, what you do is perfect for Twitch. Like Twitch, like you're just a party time. It's party time when you get on. I'm like this entire misery biscuit. You have to really. I don't think I'm gonna do Saturday night in the same way anymore. I'm just gonna like keep it to my electric set, and then I'm gonna start doing some singing mashups. I think. No,
yeah, I
like
loved like your cover
inspired
when
by
you did.
you actually.
Yeah, do the covers. Do this. The zombie cover was lovely. I reshared that and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, go for some covers and maybe, yeah, maybe at the weekend, like people want to be more. Although the weekends and the weekdays are
Yeah,
blurring into one at the moment, but maybe at the weekend have that upbeat kind of vibe, and then maybe in the week, like Thursdays, promote your own thing or.
yeah. So I think like
No.
I'm just not interested in doing like the instruments, you know, like learning the whole back end, like learning someone else's song. But I'm quite interested in singing a different song over someone else's song. So, for example, at Antichrist, I did "Closer" by Nine Inch Nails on top of Ghostbusters because it works. Because it
Standard,
works. Right? So I
yeah.
just thought I could do that on a Saturday night. I could just do like I can cut and paste someone else's back song together and then sing another well-known song on top of it for a laugh. I think.
Everyone loves a mashup. There's a show there, I think.
Yeah. So just electric set and that. That would do. That like if I got 6 or 7 of those together, I've got an idea for 2. So if I got some of them together, and you can just find them on YouTube. It's not. I'm not coming up with anything remotely original here at all, right?
It's the same for me. I mean, as a DJ, I'm kind of I'm playing other people's music, right? So I do some of my own remixes, but for the best part, it's other people's stuff, and then I just put the videos to it. So I'm not. It's kind of weird because I'm not reinventing the wheel or anything like that. I'm just putting my own little spin on it, my own little uniqueness, and then yeah.
Well, I think you're obviously hitting gold somehow. You're hitting it well. That's good. Um, so,
Thank you.
let's talk about Comic Cons because I think most of my audience wouldn't know about them at all because they don't really go to them or whatever. How did you start getting in and playing them as a DJ? I guess.
So I've been DJing for 16 years prior. So I've been DJing a long time, nightclubs, bars, etc., and all across the country. Um, but I'd always had this idea of like I've just been a comic book guy since forever. I was like, how can I get this? How can I mix the two together? How can I put them together? Um, I then got a thing called Bell's palsy, which meant half my face was frozen for about 3 months. Couldn't move it. I looked like I basically had a stroke. And within that time, it kind of gave me time to actually stop. I couldn't DJ, I couldn't do anything, so I stopped and was really reflecting on what I do. And I've been DJing music videos since forever. Whereas one of the clubs I worked in was one of the first nightclubs to have the Pioneer DVJs sent to us. We had the like some trial ones. So I was DJing with them. Initially, I was playing with I mean, I had a mobile disco for a little while, and I had 2 PlayStation 1 where I'd rigged them up and tried to press play to have them like play into their own tellies at the same time, and then play the song off of my mixer. So I was ahead of my time in that sense for trying that. So that that's a very winded way of saying like once I had time to stop, reflect, work out what I wanted to do, I then reached out to the Sci-Fi Weekender crew because I'd seen that they were advertising in magazines at the time, and there was a band called Darth Elvis and Imperials. So I was like looking at that, going, "Well, this is a Comic Con that has bands and has a, sort of a live element to it." And I reached out to them, and again, this is it's not what you know. Sometimes it's who you know. And I reached out to them, and it turned out that one of the chaps who was running it, Matt from a company called Area 51, I'd worked with about 4 or 5 years prior at one of the big reunions, so the Club 18 to 30 reunions. I used to do their big winter shows when they would bring people back to the UK, and we would host and DJ at those. And he was like, "Oh, Leroy, yeah, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, Matt, yeah." And we were just talking and us trying to get across this idea of like, I want to project the visuals and DJ. And he was like, "Yeah, it sounds all right. Come on down. We'll put you up for the weekend and we'll give you some beers and some food. Can't pay you." I sort of checked in with the wife, said, "Look, is it all right if I go and do this? I just need to do it, get it out of my system." Went drove across the country to Wales, played my set, and it worked, and it really hit a nerve with those guys, the Sci-Fi Weekenders, and I grew an instant following from having this sort of DJ page on Facebook, never really got more than like 50 followers, to suddenly it just went skyrocketed like over 1,000, and then it just kept ticking over from there. Um, then I changed the name to Level Up Leroy, because it turns out there was hundreds of DJ Leroys out there. So I needed something a bit more unique. And then, and I went back the following year. I did a couple of cons in between, and then I went back the following year and strapped a cosplay foam rocket pack on my back, and the rest is history.
That's what you need. I think when we were talking in Doncaster, you were telling me that some folks were like, "Oh, you should just go up there and be yourself and don't worry about dressing up." And it's just like, but that's like, I dress up. I like to dress up, and that's what my inner person would look like if I could be arsed to be that dressed up all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be I've got this little rocket guy who's like, poof, I'd love to be that buff guy that is on my picture, but I'm not. But I wear the rocket packs. It's kind of a funny one, really. Like, I was sort of being told to be myself, and then some other people were like, well, it's part of the act and it's part of the show. And so it's kind of hard when I'm doing the conventions, and I'm doing them in two parts, where during the day I'm sort of doing the music and maybe hosting, and it's just practical to wear foam armor that doesn't breathe. But at night, I think when there's more of a spectacle, when you're on stage, you've got screens, it's a show, right? So to be rocking up in just a t-shirt probably doesn't show that you've put as much effort into it. So I keep the rocket packs and that for the show, and then I'm me during the day.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's it's good to have that difference. And I have my pet peeves actually is watching bands with their coats on stage. I always find that really
Right.
rude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if it's a fancy dress up coat, that's not the same. But it's like, you've just walked on stage with your outdoor coat on. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel like you're engaging with us very much.
and they're not going to feel the benefit when they go back outside.
Well, exactly. I mean, their mothers teach them nothing.
Yeah, whereas I'm just like, as soon as I finish with that armor on, I'm just like, clip it, get it off, and just so hot. I need to get it built with some fans in it as well. So the chap who does it, who did that original one for me, Dave, he's like, I need to do a new one. There's things on there that I think I could change, and I'd like to put some lights on it and stuff. So watch this space.
Well, if it's supposed to be a rocket pack, you could literally have some fans in the back. Surely that wouldn't be that hard to put in.
I did initially have the way I wear it now is quite sort of like the more slimmed down version. It does actually have a rocket that can Velcro on the back. What I was finding is that it was starting to pull up and pull me back a little bit. And the second I put any kind of weight in there, bearing in mind it's just EVA foam, as soon as you put any weight in there, it's literally going. So I'm gonna have to work some mechanisms in there, maybe like some sort of brace system to hold it down, or we were talking originally about putting some speakers in the back, so if I was walking around in the day, I could be banging out some tunes out of my rockets.
That's the best way to advertise your set, basically. In a con, I think, would be doing that.
Quite possibly walk around the Comic Con with some tunes blaring out and just handing out my little stickers, maybe.
Yeah, well, I think that would work. I think with your act, because it's an after party and you're a DJ, people come to that. So that I'm assuming you always get good audiences at cons. Do you?
Not always. No, there's been a couple of quiet ones for sure, but and that comes down to sometimes the audience just doesn't get it. They're there for that Comic Con and they come in, they go, and then they don't quite grasp the idea of the party afterwards. Overseas in the States, they have nailed it completely. So some of the smaller conventions where they've tried to do an after party and really put a lot of effort into it, and it just hasn't worked for them. Um, but we still go in and make it as fun as we can. I mean, probably the quietest one I played was 10 people once. I played my full set and got another booking out of it, and it was fantastic. The booking that came from it was amazing. So you could never. And if you're playing to 10 people, or you're playing to 1,000 or 2,000 people at MCM outside of the stage, it doesn't matter. You put in as much effort to those handful of people that are watching, because you never know who's watching.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Uh, yeah. With the I've been doing like the London Anime and Gaming Convention,
Yeah,
3 years in a row. I think I've been booked on it 3 years in a row. I don't think I played the second one because I was ill. Um, and the first two shows I did with them, there was like nobody in the room watching it because I don't know whether they hadn't advertised it right or whatever. But they seem to have hit their stride with the last one I did in February. The room was full, like just full. Oh, every seat was filled, and I don't even know that they really had advertised me specifically, but just they'd made it more clear that there were bands, so people knew that they were going to watch some music, which seemed to work for them. So I'm super keen to do all of their shows going forward,
yeah,
because they seem to
that's
have hit
great.
something good there, and their after parties are fun. Like we stayed last year, and they were fun. Not a lot of people stay, but then we were doing Saturday, Sunday nights, which isn't going to help either.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, school night, isn't it? Sunday,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's
they have hit their stride a little bit there, but I don't think I've really hit um the winning note yet on that. And I had hoped to do it with the next album, and I was going to do a mixed reality theater production thing, which would
that'd
have
be
been a
amazing.
big stage show, but that's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen. So we have to
Well,
rethink the whole thing again.
well, we're not going to be locked down forever, so
Yeah,
it
but
gives you more time to perfect it.
everything's got that 6 month build up though. So we were applying for funding, and that's
Okay,
we just can't get people to commit to something that's going to happen at the end of the year. So I don't know I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
yeah,
But you've had everything postponed, I guess, because they haven't really cancelled any of the cons. They've just moved them, right?
yeah. I mean, if it's really hard because I see we don't know where we stand. There's talks that this is going to go on till the end of the year, or we'll all be okay in September, and or no one knows. There's so many experts out there that have got. So all of these conventions have now been moved to like if we're allowed out in for September, like the back end of my year is insane. um, or before. So yeah, the back end will be crazy. I kind of hope it happens. Um, I mean, there was a few of the conventions that have been moved to like July. I'm not sure that they were going to happen. I'm really bummed out because we were talking about going to be going back to Star Wars Celebration, which was going to be in Anaheim in August. Don't think that's going to happen. They've just cancelled San Diego Comic Con, so I'm pretty sure Celebration will follow. And then then New York in October, which is the they're really struggling at the moment. They've been really hit hard with the COVID-19, so um, whether that's cleared up then or not, and whether we're allowed to fly anywhere, who
Who
knows?
knows?
2021 is going to be my year.
2021 will be the year for everyone, assuming that this doesn't become a yearly occurrence. That some new virus will will come out. I've read like my fella deep dives on the internet quite a lot onto the dark web, and apparently there's another hot-footed virus on the way, straight out of
Yeah.
China.
I mean, I've read that this is going to come in waves of six, and
Yeah.
yeah, every year there'll be a mutated version, or I mean, Donald Trump says it's going to go away with the nice weather. Yeah, who do we believe?
Well, yeah, maybe start by not believing that.
No, yeah, not
Tangerine
the last
man.
one for sure. But I'm trying to. I guess you got to try and be as optimistic and as positive as possible. The conventions, all of this stuff will return. It's just when, and we just got to hold tight. So I mean, yeah, I did. I mean, I missed out on the gig. I was booked to play for one of my all-time favorite bands, Ash, and I was going to be warming up for them. And it was only because I met Mark, the lead guitarist from at New York Comic Con. We got chatting, and he sort of followed me and was like, "We love this stuff. Do you want to come and play for us, do a warm up?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, Ash, I'll do a warm up for you." And it was like, yeah. Well, we're going to be at the London Roundhouse. Why don't you come on down in Manchester? And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I managed to book the Roundhouse in London, and literally the week that we all got locked down was the weekend that I was supposed to be playing. So that was kind of heartbreaking.
Oh, man. But they'll be rescheduled though, right? And they'll
Yeah,
take you on the new
yeah, they're
schedule.
rescheduled. I think it looks like it's going to be September. So again, it's like that's the first reschedule. Hopefully, we get out for that. But if we don't, then we don't, and we'll go on to whenever.
Hmm. Something weird's happening with the sound. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. I don't know
Ooh,
what went on there.
is it me? Hello,
No, I
hello.
think we're all right. Uh, yeah. So I
So
was
good to
just, if I just
do
kind
my
of,
best Deaf and Gloria impression.
ha ha.
I just need the lights. Just need the lights.
Yeah. Well, they're fiver off Amazon. You may as well just chuck them in with their next.
Chuck them in the next
Yeah.
order.
That's what I often get asked about that mic stand. Like, where did you get that mic stand? I'm like, fucking Amazon, man. Sorry, didn't mean to curse. Amazon. Everything's
Made
on
it.
Amazon.
I mean, they're clearing up at the minute, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was thinking, like, so I did the World Science Fiction Convention last summer in Dublin,
Nice.
and they've got one this year in New Zealand, and they have just. It's not until August, but they've just cancelled it, and they're like, "We're just going online. It's going to be an online festival. That's it." So I'm going to email them and try and get us on there. But I mean, they should. These other cons should just do that, right? They should just go. This year's a write off. Let's get everything online now, so that the quality is good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
move
think
forward from
a few
there.
people are going to give that a go, aren't they? It seems. It'd be nice to see more people try it, but I guess, the hardest thing is, I don't know. Well, we're doing an interview now. I was going to say the hardest is getting guests, but actually, how hard is it to email them and say, "Hey, do you want to chat to us from your bed, if you like?"
Yeah, but I'm like, most of the guys who go to those cons and do panels and whatever, they are like authors and comic
Yeah,
writers and whatever. They're not big socialites in the first place. It can't be that difficult to just get them all online because they'd rather be at home with a cup of tea than in a room full of people anyway. I'm guessing because that's
yeah.
what
Well,
authors do, right? They sit in their house alone doing their stuff.
right. Yeah. Well, that's all us nerds and geeks. We were built for this. This. I mean, as sucky as it is, and we like to get out, and you know, we are quite lucky. We can go out, we engage with people and stuff. But there are so many. I know there's so many of like my followers that really don't like to go outside or don't like to engage or don't want to go to a pub or a bar or anything like that or a club. Couldn't think of anything worse. But obviously when they come to like one of my DJ shows, it's for them, so it's safe and they're with their friends. It's a safe environment, and the same for you with
Yeah.
that anime rock sound. It's all like-minded people. It's a safe environment. They get to come out. So they only come out when they can feel safe. So like we're all set up to be at home, to have our webcams and our webcam our mics and everything. So like you can't get a webcam online now for love nor money.
No. I tell you what, I was looking for a second one. Like I bought a good one just before this whole crash thing, and then I wanted another one, and there was none on Amazon, and then one came up on Amazon, and I was like, I'll steal that, I'll steal it. and it was like 44 quid. It was obviously a return. It was obviously a return. Like it's got digital problems on the bottom of its screen. You know, the camera itself kind of wobbles around a bit. I mean, it's fine for me because I'll just put it on the piano and that's it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't do much light. It does not like the stage lights at all, so it doesn't like to be too bright. It's just a piece of crap. And I would have returned it in any other circumstance than this one.
but now it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now it works when it works. It's acceptable. When I'm doing my 2 stages, that's when I need it. So I'll have one that faces up if I'm standing up doing the lecture set, and then one when I'm down on the keyboard.
Yeah, I think the next set for me was, and I was trialing it, and this is the outcome. My poor phone.
Oh no!
So I had it in a in a cage thing to fly out, and I used the camera on my phone as a second webcam. Plug it into OBS, and sort of like flip between the things. But I had it in this bracket, and it just pinged out and smashed. So
I did trial that actually with an iPad Touch. Not iPad, an iPod Touch. I did try and use it as a camera, but it was slow as like it doesn't keep up with the other ones.
This was an iPhone 7 Plus, so not the newest of phones, but this was pretty mint when I had it plugged in, and when it was going, it was quite good. So I'd been using this for my Instagram streams. So when I was doing my multi-streaming, because you can't multi-stream and get onto Instagram Live, I kind of just propped the phone up and was like, "Hey everyone, go check out the proper stream if you can." But still had people watching it through that. But yeah, so I might use that as a second camera. I've got an iPad, and I can try and use that for keeping an eye on my stream. Because
yeah, apparently someone has just followed me. Thank you very much. We have Sweet Poison 02 over on Twitch is from Scotland, and he's saying, "How are you? How are you? Yeah." Thank you for the follow, Sweet Poison. I said sweet potato there, didn't I? Sweet potato. I meant sweet poison.
Sweet potato, sweet poison. It's all good.
Sweet poison. So, yeah, they're saying hello from Scotland on Twitch. So obviously the Twitch channel is working right now. Haha.
That's good.
I apologize profusely. If you have a question for either myself or Leroy there, just drop it in their chat and we shall answer it. I shall answer it. Oh, yeah. So we were talking about cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the iPad might work better for that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, whether the old iPod Touch was too old or not, I don't know, because these got the 2 cameras in them, haven't they? So the newer phones.
Okay, well that's better. I saw there was a band called Marissa and the Moths who have like 43,000 people on Facebook, and they were doing their first stream a couple of weeks ago onto YouTube, and they were obviously using some sort of iPhone as their main camera, and it just kept on coming up with the squares around their faces.
Oh no!
It was just like, wow, come on. And they did make the last count I saw on that particular stream was about 650 quid in donations they took that night between the two of them.
Wow. I haven't. Is that something? Have you done that yourself? I haven't gone down the donations route yet. I don't know whether to or not.
Well, I have a donations link on mine. However, it's all for the Upper Norwood Library Hub, so I don't keep any of that. It goes directly to them. So I just put their donation links on my stuff, and we don't make that much money. I'll be honest, like don't make much from them. It's usually about £11 a stream they get, But I stream so much that's basically we're just trying it out. So I don't keep it. So I don't know. It's probably for you. It's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it for you because if you want the focus to be on Twitch, so that's becomes where the money comes from, right? And I think what you're doing is getting people involved is far better than that.
Yeah.
So we've got a question. It's where are you guys from?
I'm based down in Norwich, so Alan Partridge land, East Anglia, about 100 miles out of London.
Yeah, and I am in London. Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we're at. And Sweet Poison is saying that the squares are just the newest fad. You
Oh, I
know that
mean,
you're a cool kid if you've got squares on thing. I can actually turn my squares on. I don't. I can do that. Oh, look, you can't see it, Leroy, but the rest of the
yeah,
world can see. I now have squares on my face. Ah, legend.
it's kind of like the striker pose Vogue thing without
Yeah,
having to put the hands up, isn't it? It's just there. You've got the square.
that's just it. So the question that she's asking now is, how are you coping with the lockdown? Because you actually have see, I don't have family, so you will have a whole bunch more stresses. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I have family; they're just not in this room. So how are you coping with the lockdown over there in family land?
it's I'm I'm glad I'm with my family. um, so I mean, at times, as you can probably hear, they can be quite loud, or we've got a very young daughter who might be crying, and or going sort of for free, but the terrible twos, as it were. Um, so sometimes it can be quite hard. It can be quite stressful, to be fair. And other times it's great because we're all here, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else other than with my wife and my kids. So very lucky in that sense. And then when they're all down and when they're all in beds, I'm on my computer or I'm DJing in the playroom and being geeky. So yeah, I mean lockdown. I've had loads to do. I've produced more remixes than I've ever done. I've been really productive. Um, I've managed to set myself up and DJ with green screen and learnt new tricks. So I'm coping quite well with lockdown. How about you, Rin?
Yeah, I think I feel like I was aiming for this anyway, because
Mm,
I was kind of setting myself up to be on Twitch and to get my streaming game up, and then just had not hit my stride before any of this happened. So I then ended up just working on streaming every single day and changing settings and adding lights, and it just very quickly getting it up to a better standard.
mm.
And I've now just started turning that focus onto musicianship. So I do like a lesson. I've decided I'll do like a lesson a week, one for piano, one for acoustic guitar, and one for electric guitar. And I'll just build up those skills each week. So I have,
That's cool.
because I've got all these cover songs that I've done now because I needed stuff for streaming. But all the guitar work is all the same because it's just like bar chords or whatever. It's kind of boring. So I'm like, I have to learn some chicken picking and all of that. And because we are, there's two of us that live in this flat. It's me and my fella. And the flat, what you can see on the screen is half of my living room. And
Right.
our living room is three quarters of the entire flat. So, oh, sorry, it just came out. I'm going to read out what Sweet Poison is saying in a wee second. And our flat is 5 meters by 6 meters, 7 meters by 5 meters. The entire flat. That's it.
Oh
This
wow.
is the
Right.
tiniest place. So he's still at work. He owns his own bike shop, so he goes out and does that. And so I'm left pretty much. I don't think life has changed really for us because this is what I was planning on doing anyway. It's weird. It's weird.
Other than just the odd gig here and there. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm still working. I work for a education company that sells like uh, preschool sort of stationery, and we're still going and still selling stuff. So because some of the kids are still at school, so I'm kind of working from home, and that keeps me kind of balanced as well. I've still got some routine.
Yeah. Well, I've been setting up a community live stream channel for the library I work for. So that I mean that was kept me so busy when we started because I had to teach people how to get on there, and then as soon as I got someone reading a book for a season, they'd drop out and somebody else would have to be taught another thing. Sorry, Sweet Poison has said, thankfully, despite me and my brother being adults, we still live at home with for personal reasons. So my family is in lockdown together. So also NHS sent out a letter that they're going to send us emergency groceries for everyone in the household, so we don't have to go out as much as my brother has no immune system. So that's
Oh
NHS
wow.
Scotland. That's pretty good going actually.
Wow, that's cool.
Uh,
That they're not that he hasn't got an immune system. That they're going to send you groceries.
yeah, I'm well impressed that that's
Yeah.
actually a government initiative that seems to be pretty good. So they don't need to go out. They need to go out less. Stuff like bread, coffee, tea, biscuits, tin goods, pasta, fruit, toilet roll, shower gel, and other odds and ends. They get delivered every week. Oh wee! And then she apologizes for hope she's not talking too much. No, you're not talking too much, love.
Uh,
That's fine.
Chat away,
That's fine.
chat, chat,
Just
chat, chat,
chat,
chat.
chat
We love
away.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's pretty
yeah,
good. I mean, I like we because we have that community live stream. We're quite connected to the local area around here and what's going on. And we don't have the NHS delivering food to folks. But maybe
no.
you're in a rural area. Sweet poison. Is that it? Maybe you're not in the city. Maybe you're not in the city. Scotland's full of not cities. It's pretty good.
Scotland's beautiful. I did a Granite City Comic Con up in Aberdeen. It's lovely.
Aberdeen. I played. I didn't play. I used to tour manage bands back in the day, and we played Aberdeen. We drove from London to Aberdeen.
Oh, wow, that's
Not bad times. Bad times.
that is a long, long journey.
The long journey. Yeah. So I think we probably covered everything that we were looking to cover tonight.
I think we've had a good chat. I think we should do it again. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's been great fun.
It's
Uh,
nice talking to people other than my wife and kids. As I say.
yeah. Well, it's been cool to have somebody come on from Twitch. It's the first time I've had somebody come on and talk to us from the Twitch side. We're obviously something
Ah,
is happening. What she's saying. In our household, I'm not. My household is high risk, and they're trying to stop us going outside. Oh, okay. It's not that she's in a rural area.
okay,
Oh yeah,
okay.
and it's just
That's
health
good.
issues between her brother and her mother.
It's good that they're looking after her like that.
Yeah, I don't think you get that service down south. I'll be honest, love. I think you're doing well to have it up there. Man, so bad. Anyway, I think we've covered as much as we can
Yeah,
cover today, and you've got a family, so you need to go and do the daddy thing. Yeah,
I do indeed need to go and do the daddy thing for just a little bit. Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you very much for joining me, and yeah, I guess we'll see you all again another time. Oh
Thanks for having me
yeah.
on, Rin.
Right, no worries. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.